Welcome to Northern Soul. It's another vlog, and today we're going to be discussing a little bit about something commonly referred to as law of attraction. Now, this is something that I've been studying for the last 9 years, and it's been a long time. I actually had to do the math on that. Like, how long have I been doing this? And it's been almost a decade. I can't believe it. But since then I've learned so much about it, and I've been doing a lot of research and even from a physical, like a sort of scientific standpoint, like is it even real? Is there any proof that supports this stuff? Because a lot of it's like metaphysical and spiritual, and there's a lot of anecdotal evidence based on people that say that they use it or they must use it because they fit in that sort of slot so perfectly that it must be that. But like, yeah, watching quantum physics theory, theoretical physics, and physics in general, and even in the healthcare field in which I professionally work, there's evidence I've seen, witnessed myself, a lot of evidence that suggests that it is what it is. It is true. It's a real thing. So number one, if you're watching this video, like, oh, let's see if somebody's going to debunk it or somebody's going to say no, it's a real thing. And from my understanding and my experience, it is 100% real. It's, for me, it's knowledge. It's not even belief that it's, I think it's real or something like that. It's like, no, it's for sure a real thing. And so I want to share that with you through my vlogs and through this channel. I was kind of hesitant at first doing this stuff because it's one of those things where if people don't understand it or have no idea about it, they might be a bit hostile towards it, or they might resist the idea. But I mean, the evidence suggests that, I mean, it is there. So there is proof scientifically with experimentation that's repeatable and by scientific peers in their community, people that are, published in renowned magazines and columns and stuff like that, and from universities that are respected. So I don't think it can be ignored anymore, thankfully. It's When I first learned about it, it was almost like too good to be true. Like, is this a real thing? But in your deep down, you know it's a real thing. It's just no one's actually just exclaimed that it's a real thing. This is 9 years ago. Of course, a lot of people watching this will be familiar with it, and they'll read the title and come down. But I'm doing this for the benefit of this video, specifically for the benefit of either the subscribers that aren't familiar with it, or if you're visiting here, you're not a subscriber, welcome. And this might help you, steer you in your direction, or help fulfill getting some actual results. Because I know when I first started, the results they're all over the map. Sometimes it would work and sometimes it didn't work. And then later on I would realize it's because, like, I'm resistant to certain ideas or had beliefs that would limit how I could use it or the effectiveness, or would negate the momentum behind it. And these are things that you learn afterwards, right? But you don't know at the time because it wasn't explained well. So let me give you a recommendation to get you started if you haven't started. And if you're familiar with this, it's well worth visiting again. But so that we're all on the same page going forward, because I'm going to get into more stuff in the vlogs. So the first recommendation I can make is a video called The Secret. If you're familiar with it, I mean, it went viral and stuff, so I'm sure a lot of people will be familiar with it, but well worth watching again. If you have seen it, go watch it again. I believe there's two versions of it. I've seen two versions of it. There's one that's got, the one that I seen 9 years ago was the one with the person called Abraham Hicks, and that's the one I recommend watching because that's a important individual, at least from what my understanding and development over the 9 years. And but the other one's fine as well. It's just they couldn't get the rights to. She wouldn't sign over the rights to the producers of The Secret. That's her. She owns her teachings, and didn't want to hand it over explicitly to the producers of The Secret, which is fine. I mean, it's funny with the law of attraction and stuff like that, that we still are dealing with humanity and there's still copyright laws and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to steer clear of putting up stuff that's copyright material, period, on the channel, and just talk from experience and stuff like that. And maybe if I need to direct you to something, you can go find it yourself. And if law of attraction is real, you shouldn't have a problem finding it anyways. So I'll direct you to these videos because it's already well done and it's a great start. It's not a complete thing, as because I experienced that it wasn't 100% easy to follow. Like, it was simple, but it wasn't easy, like putting that into practice. So another recommendation on top of that, many people might not be aware of it, but there's an audiobook, unabridged audiobook version of The Secret. This is a high recommendation for me. Watch the video first, especially if it's like you're very visual. Watch it. It's fun. It's really done well. It's produced well to high standards, and it's worth a watch. But if you can get your hands on the audiobooks, that's a real win, I think. And I think they might have it. I'm not sure. I don't want to put out information if it's not right. The audiobooks of The Secret, unabridged, that's what you're looking for. It's everything they got in there that couldn't be stuffed in a 2-hour video. There's way more information, and it really, I think, fleshes out some of the ideas that I wish I knew at the first time I found out about The Secret. I wish I had that as a companion with it so I can listen to it. And it's great, you can listen to it while driving and stuff like that. So if you get the audiobooks, which is fantastic, and very convenient if you're a very busy lifestyle as well. The second video I wish to recommend, at least to get people that are beginners, or if you haven't seen it, definitely need to watch it from a scientific standpoint, is a video called What the Bleep Do We Know? And there's 2 versions of that, oddly enough. There's a shorter version, I think it might be edited or something, but I've seen the long version, and it's like over 2 hours. So look for the one that's over 2 hours. I'm not even sure if it's like 2.5 or like 3. But it's a long watch, and you might need to stop it and take a break and go back and finish it, that sort of thing. But well worth a watch. It's done very well, and it explains the quantum physics aspect of it, the experiments. So this is the stuff where it's like, well, prove it. And that's a great video for proving the idea of the importance of consciousness, which is what we understand as law of attraction. That we consciously, or even subconsciously. So you might not consciously, if you're not conscious about it, then subconsciously you'll make your reality. I'll let the video explain it. That's like the homework, so to speak. Watch those 2 videos, and if you can get your hands on the audiobook, go for it. And then come back and watch going forward with the video logs. I'm going to be discussing more interesting, either breaking down some of the stuff that's in those videos to explain it better, how I understand it, along with other anecdotal evidence, whether through my experience or through other information that I've researched myself, because there's tons of other avenues and people like myself putting this out on video so that other people can enjoy it and kind of grow from it. So there's the teachings is definitely one of those things where there's enough for everybody. It's a life of plenty, and if you're not getting yours and you're angry about it, there's a reason for it. It's a healthy sort of thing. So we're talking about the development from like victimhood to anger, and then moving up and progressing through all the way up to bliss, but it's not something that can happen overnight. So the thing with the law of attraction, for those of you that have done it a bit and maybe become jaded because of the results haven't come forward, is that it is a skill. It's a lost skill. We're not taught any time in our life during school or any of that stuff typically about how it works or even it exists or any of that. So because it's the information age, I think this is why now is the time that it's coming forward and more people are using it successfully and having stories about the success and passing it on. So in the last year from this recording, the time of this recording, I've noticed there's certain little, it's almost like you just have to figure out little things, and the little things can make the difference between success and it seemingly not working. And within the last year, I've picked up a few things that have completely changed it from being unpredictable, like some things work, some things don't, so you get mixed results. Like it definitely works because the things that do happen, you're like, yeah, for sure. Like there's no way it's coincidence. There's no way it's coincidence. It's that apparent. But then it's like, well, I'm going to use it for this, and then you figure out, oh, you're hindering yourself. So, but I've learned a few little simple things that I'd like to, in future episodes of vlogs on this channel, to pass that on. And I think I'm doing the videos at all, like on YouTube at all, not because I before a year ago I would, if you told me I'd be doing videos on YouTube, I'd be like, you don't know what you're talking about. But things have changed that drastically, that here I am doing something I never figured I'd be even doing. And that's a good thing. Change is a good thing. It's a universal law. So it's just more evidence. So you're going to see, hopefully this is what's going to happen, is kind of a before and after. So in the future, I'm predicting that you're going to see growth and success on my end, and you can watch it develop, and there's going to be documentation. So almost like its own proof through video. So I hope that's what's happening, and that's really the reason why I'm doing this, especially the vlogs, and the direction of it is because I've noticed, I think people want to hear from other people that are doing it, getting some success, and then passing on the information so that you can use it, the end user, like you that's watching this. And because I don't believe in coincidence, and because once you understand all this, there is no coincidence, you're watching this as part of the plan. So part of your design, your desire, and something got you here, whatever that is, you really got you here watching this, and we're collaborating right now. Even though I'm on one end and you're on the other, it's cooperation. And through cooperation and collaboration, that's how you build anything of actual real power and substance. So anybody else that's, this is crap and wishy-washy or what, doesn't want to believe it, that's fine. That's in your power too, to have a life of this doesn't work. And good for you. I'm not going to be that person, because I know for a fact that this is, I can't, once you learn it, you can't unlearn it. That's probably, it's a great thing, but it makes reality and life kind of weird. So if you're ready, I'm coming back up the rabbit hole saying, follow me down if you're brave enough, and if you're ready. If you're not ready, you're just going to say no to it and go away. Go watch funny dog videos, or people make funny noises, or Minecraft or whatever. You're going to go watch that stuff. If you're here, if you're still watching this, think about subscribing if you haven't, because this is going to be an ongoing thing. I think you'll really enjoy it. I think you'll learn from it. I think you'll grow from it. And I have, so I'm just putting it out there. And one thing I have learned is not to care about the result. If you feel you need to do something and it feels right, you just do it, and then later on you'll see the evidence of why that was a good idea, to follow your gut. So I'll leave you with that at the very least, other than watch those 2 videos. The Secret, if you can find the unabridged audiobook of it as well. What the Bleep Do We Know? And start listening to your gut. But understand the difference between fear, which can feel similar with following your gut and your instinct, and your actual instinct on pushing you towards something that might be uncomfortable at the time because you're not familiar with it. So going out of your comfort zone is usually how it's described. But if you feel an excitement, not a sort of dread or a fear, so it'll have the feel of excitement versus a touch of anxiety. So listen, and all you have to do is ask yourself. It's hilarious that you can just ask yourself a question, like literally, even out loud. I do it out loud sometimes, and It'll be like something, what should I do now? Or should I take that job or not? And then see what comes up. See what feeling comes up. And if it's anxiety, and you'll know the difference, because you'll be like, I think I'm talking myself out of it. Then don't do that. But if it feels exciting to you, and it's so difficult separating the two, but once you practice it, and maybe you got to practice it with little things at first until you understand the difference, and then you'll know what's an opportunity to follow, because it's you guiding yourself down the path as opposed to logic and fear and programming telling you, well, I want to make money. Okay. Well, you need to find opportunity comes up. Is like, was that opportunity? Because it could just be somebody saying you suck and do it my way, and then you try it and you're looking at it and you're going, I could. And even in The Secret, it just came to mind, so I'm going to pass it on. Where if you're doing, and this is anything, it comes up and it says, yeah, I could try it that way or do that, but I don't think I'd really like it. Then that's not for you. Forget it. Let it go. The life has endless opportunities. As long as you're not putting specifics, if you're not specifically telling yourself or dictating consciously how something has to happen. So I'll leave this one example. I don't want to keep droning on, but I think some people would enjoy it. If you do enjoy me just going on and droning on, please put it in the comments, and then I'll make longer videos. But I don't know if people want that or not. I'm not a mind reader, so put it in the comments if you want it more about specific topics, shorter videos, or if you want me to just rant. Do you know what I mean? If you enjoy it, please put down, and like as well. That gives me a heads up. But if there's something that's exciting and it's outside of your comfort zone, but you think you want to do it, you want to do it, but you're just kind of intimidated by it, go for it. Just go with the flow until it seems scary maybe, and then you could back off. You can always back out if you want to. But for as far as me saying, like, making something specifically come for you, for example, this is a big one, and I did this mistake myself for the longest time. So you get cocky at first, like, oh, I can do anything just by thinking it. Okay, well, I want to win the lottery. Okay, how many of you haven't thought of that? Okay, that's here watching, like, okay, well, make me successful, just give me money. Now logic steps in, you start using you start to try to figure it out. What's the easiest way to get a bunch of money and be successful? Okay, well, I could just win the lottery because it exists. So then you start focusing and moving in that direction because it's so obvious and it seems so easy to you. So, and there's nothing wrong with playing the lottery. There's nothing wrong with buying tickets. I buy tickets because it's an avenue that I'm open to. But I don't demand that that's the only way, or that is the way that I'm going to become successful. That's when it'll never happen. It's because you're focusing on the goal, which immediately, every time you focus on the goal, you notice that you haven't achieved your goal, which then is now present in the idea that you're putting out, that is, I haven't won the lottery yet, and that's why I keep playing. Because as soon as I win the lottery, I'll probably stop playing. But the way to look at it is, you have to be passionate. So the video log before, I was talking about being passionate it applies to everything. So if you want to play the lottery, the way to win it is to play it because you want to play it, not because you enjoy the playing of it. You enjoy the hope, like buying a ticket and going, yeah, I have a chance, yay, you know what I mean? And if you lose, it doesn't matter, like, you don't care. And you go buy another ticket because it's just the fun part of having a ticket that shows there might be a possibility of winning. That's it. But if you're buying it because you're trying to win, see the trying part, that's efforting, that's work, that's your hang up right there. It'll always be the thing that points out that you're not going to get it, because you'll be aware of you not having it, and then you not having it puts out ahead of you, puts out into the universe, into consciously creating or manifesting, as it's commonly known as, that you don't have it, and then it mirrors back, because it works as a torus effect. If you've seen the torus effect, Now I'm getting into all the details that I want to discuss later on. And I will get into that stuff later on. But you have to be open to all avenues of income if that's what you're concerned. If you want money, and you're not supposed to go after money. Here's the trick. If you want, like, why do you want money? For most people, it's, I want money because then I can buy the things I want. Okay, well, now I'm going to ask myself the question. This is what you can do. Why are you going to buy those things? Because I think in the having of it, it will make me happy. Now, this is not how conscious manifestation or law of attraction works. It doesn't work with wanting something because of the lack of having it, therefore focusing in your mind of lack and not having it, which then projects into the universe that you don't have it, which then presents to you law of attraction. This is where the attraction part comes in, but it's not outside of you. Nothing is outside of you because it's created within you. So that's why I don't like using the word law of attraction, because it's not precise enough. But we'll use it because it's commonly understood. But as long as you understand the mechanism, as it's coming back, it presents to you more of not having it. And that's why people fail in the understanding of it. And that's a simple analogy called the lottery, which most people tie to. But if you're just having fun with it and you don't care about having money, because I've learned once I let go of having to get money in order to get stuff, I started to get stuff that I would, if I had money, I would have bought anyways, like a car. I've had a car come to me, no charge. I've had 3 trips, like trips that you can't save up for. It's one of those things, either you're rich or you're not. 3 trips that I went on, I didn't pay for. What? Like, this is crazy. And if you want to see evidence of it, just go look at the I've got on my playlist the Turks and Caicos trip. I didn't pay for that. I attracted it for using law of attraction because I was open to any means of happiness or enjoyment in life. I was open to anything, and I didn't specify anything. And that's one of the tricks, I think, is not caring about anything, how anything you want to come to you. I'll discuss that later. I'll leave that as a teaser. We'll discuss that in future episodes. But I found that once I did that and understood that, everything changed. Everything changed in my life, and quickly. And then I'll discuss later on about synchronicity and the importance of that. So please subscribe if you haven't, and look forward to seeing you guys in future videos. All right, take care.